So just like everybody else, Microsoft has had to cancel their in-person conferences, but that doesn't mean that they're canceling new hardware. This is the Surface Go 2. It is the second iteration of Microsoft's tiny little Windows Surface tablet with its own little kickstand. And you know what? The original Surface Go, I kind of fell in love with that computer because I love me a tiny computer, but it had some problems. And Microsoft has done everything that it can, I think, to address those problems, or at least the biggest ones. And the one that you're going to see right away that they're trying to do better is when you look at the screen. The original Surface Go had huge bezels, and the bezels on this one are way, way smaller because the screen is now 10.5 inches. I think it's 1920 by 1280, which means it's 3:2, which is the right aspect ratio for computers, I think anyway. But it looks like a good screen. The bezels aren't quite as small as you can get on like a Surface Pro X, but they're still respectable. The last bezels were actually kind of like vaguely embarrassing. This does not feel cramped anymore. I'm very excited about this screen. The second problem with the original Surface Go was that it was kind of, well, slow. It had this Intel Pentium Gold processor, which did the job mostly, but you could really feel it struggle a lot. And the base model of this new Surface Go 2 unfortunately also has an Intel Pentium Gold processor. I think it's a 4425Y, comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, but it's eMMC storage, which is a little bit slow. But the combination of all those things is how they keep the price down for the base model. It starts at $399. You can also get a model with that same processor, 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gig SSD for $529, but yeah. If you're gonna spend more money on this computer, the one to get is the one that comes with the new processor option. It is an 8th gen Core M3 from Intel with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabyte SSD, and that costs $629. And if you want, for $100 more, you can get it with LTE. Although, you know, on top of that, you're also gonna need to buy a keyboard. However, if you already have a Surface Go, you actually won't have to buy a new keyboard because it is the exact same size and shape overall as the original Surface Go. So all of your keyboards and any other accessories you might have gotten will still work with this Surface Go 2. They even kept the ports the same. So there is a Surface connector, because Microsoft loves them a Surface connector. I don't, but maybe their customers do. I don't know. They kept the Surface connector. There's also a USB-C port, and there is a headphone jack. Hooray! And last but not least, there is expansion for storage in the form of micro SD on the back. Now, the front-facing camera is 5 megapixels, and you can get a nice 5 megapixel camera in a Surface because the whole computer is in the tablet, which means that you have more, Z-axis space there to fit a nicer camera in. That of course means it works with Windows Hello. You would expect that out of a Surface, so you can log in with your face. Microsoft says there's also studio microphones for better sound, and I hope that's true. Like I said, I really did love the original. I don't know, it felt cute, like a Fiat 500 car was the metaphor that I used. Fun to drive, but it couldn't go uphill very fast. And so I'm really interested to see if putting a proper Core M3 into this machine will mean that it will fare better in terms of performance. Now, the third thing, almost forgot, but it's actually maybe the most important thing, is battery life. Microsoft says that they put a larger battery inside this Surface Go 2, which should give it up to 10 hours. Now, Microsoft's 10 hours isn't necessarily real world use. It might be video rundown or whatever, so we gotta test it. But a device like this is meant to be ultra portable. It's, why it's so small. It's about the same size as like an iPad Pro 11. And so you want it to last a long time on battery because you want to be out in the world with it if you ever get to go out in the world again. So I'm also excited to test to see if the battery life on this thing is any better too. These devices are going to be available on May 12th, including the LTE edition. Usually that one comes way later. So we're going to have a full review of this up on The Verge at some point in the near future. If you've got questions about the Surface Go 2, please let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them in the review. Hey, thanks so much for watching. When you shoot from home by yourself, you forget that the bit where you ask for comments is supposed to go on the end card, not the main video, but you just let it go because we're shooting from the hip here. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.